Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Duran and we are in week 5 for our public communications class here at Los Angeles Pacific University. This week we are going over the meaning of nonverbal communication and what it is. So we have to ask ourselves, what is nonverbal communication? Whether we're aware of it or not, when you interact with others, you're continuously sending signals. All of your nonverbal behaviors, the gestures you make, your posture, your tone of voice, how much eye contact you make send strong messages. They can put people at ease, build trust and draw others towards you, or they can even confuse or undermine what you're trying to say. These messages don't stop when you stop speaking either. Even when you're silent, you're still communicating nonverbally. Types of nonverbal communication. Facial expressions, body movement and posture, gestures, eye contact, touch, space, voice, tone. And basically that means the tone of your voice and how you're speaking to others. So how does nonverbal communication work? According to a periodical article I have found, nonverbal communication, it is incorporated through different steps: singular, combination, and pluralistic. Each one of these are used differently, and depending on how much you use, it's interpreted differently. So on singular, it is one verbal method. If the sender is sending physical gestures, then the receiver is interpreting the type of gestures that are being sent. A combination, which is more than one verbal and nonverbal, are involved by each person. So if a sender speaks with facial expressions, the receiver hears and interprets the facial expression. And the pluralistic is two or more types that are involved for each person. So if the sender is hand clasping and a facial expression, then the sender is receiving or interpreting the type of gestures, the hand clasping, the facial expressions while they're speaking. So the interpretations, which is the power of the body language and posture. Now, if I'm giving a presentation and I'm slouching, or if I'm just not really caring what's going on, my body language is going to send off that message and to seem I'm not with it or I'm not interested in what I'm saying. The example of the facial expressions, if I'm just sitting here frowning, just kind of wandering around, nobody would really want to be having a conversation with me. That goes with the hand gestures, hands up in the air, just kind of playing with my hair. That's going to send off a negative reaction to the sender. Eye contact is also important. You don't want to probe somebody just staring them down because that can be a little intimidating and make someone feel uncomfortable. Battle of the sexes. So each sex, female, male, interprets nonverbal signals differently. Women are more so than men seek to avoid reading the cues that others are trying to hide from them. And this is typically based on strangers, people who do not know each other. Communication of anger is particularly valuable for men. And that's not trying to say that a man is, trying to puff up his chest. It's just the way that they value this type of interaction. Women are generally better at expressing their emotions. Men's anger is expressed more clearly than women. And men are better at reading anger than women. So each one of us interpret the type of signals that are sent to us differently. Now, I went on a personal level and I wanted to kind of go over nonverbal communications between animals and humans. And I've been an animal lover for many years. We have 4 dogs in our home, and each animal or each dog interprets differently. And if you see the pictures that we have a Doberman, 2 Min Pins, and a Chiweenie. So if I was to speak to one of the dogs, "You're such a pretty dog. You're such a pretty dog," they're going to interpret that different based on my tone, my body language, my facial expression, and they may come off scared because they don't understand the language that we are speaking. So I found this kind of interesting just based on my personal experience with the animals that we have. And finally, I wanted to close with a quote. Nonverbal communication is an elaborate secret code that is written nowhere known by none, and understood by all. So everyone can read and understand what communication is nonverbally, and that is something that we all know. That's in a universal language. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this presentation, and I hope you have a great day.